Imagine a night so peaceful that you can feel the weight of the day lift off your shoulders the moment your head hits the pillow. A night where every worry, every anxiety, and every fear melts away as you rest in the certainty of God's love and protection. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if you could make this peaceful night a reality, night after night? This prayer isn't just another bedtime ritual, it's the key to unlocking divine peace, comfort, and strength. With every word, you'll invite God's guidance, forgiveness, and protection into your life, ensuring that you wake up with a renewed spirit and confidence. It's not just a prayer, it's a transformation that happens while you sleep. Keep reading, because this is the night prayer you need to hear every night for the peace you've been searching for. When life feels heavy, as though the weight of the world is pressing on your shoulders, it's easy to forget the incredible strength that lies within. This prayer is a reminder that, no matter how tough the journey may seem, peace is always within reach. When you pray, you connect with that divine source and unshakable power that sustains you even in your darkest moment. The angels are with you, whispering reassurance, encouraging you to trust that the storms will pass. It's not about avoiding difficulty, but rather about finding peace through it. In these moments of struggle, we often forget the power of our inner strength. The Bible tells us that God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in times of trouble. With each prayer, you're tapping into that inner well of resilience. You might not feel invincible at first, but as you open your heart to God, you'll start to notice a shift. Peace doesn't mean everything is perfect. It means you know you're not alone in the struggle. And when you face challenges, you begin to recognize that the Creator is holding you up, giving you the courage to keep moving forward. Think about it. Every time you utter a prayer in the face of adversity, you call upon a greater power. It's like putting in a request to your heavenly team of angels. Their task? To surround you with peace and guidance. This peace doesn't always look like stillness. It can come as the quiet strength that propels you through the day. When the noise of life is loud, the angels remind you that calm exists within, waiting for you to reach out in prayer. This is the divine peace that comes with trusting in God's plan for you. As you reflect on your inner power, consider how you've already made it through challenges in the past. Remember that time when you thought there was no way forward, but somehow you pushed through? That was the strength within you, with God's guidance at work. And when you pray, you reinforce that power, remembering that no matter what lies ahead, you're not alone. When life becomes overwhelming, remember this: peace and strength are not distant concepts, they are present within you, as close as your next prayer. So, as you pray tonight, take a moment to acknowledge the strength that God has already instilled in you. The peace that comes from knowing this truth is not just an abstract idea, it's real. It's within you, and it's powerful. The Bible reminds us time and again that God will never leave us. And when we align our hearts with His, we invite that peace into our lives. Angels are waiting to comfort you, to lift you when you can't stand on your own. Just take a moment to ask for that comfort and allow it to fill your soul, bringing rest to your weary spirit. But what happens next when you feel the peace seep into your heart? The prayer also asks for something deeper, a request for the strength to face the challenges ahead. It's more than just peace. It's about asking for the courage to embrace what comes. Let's explore how that strength can fuel you in the next phase of your prayer. When you pray, you're not just asking for comfort. You're requesting the faith and strength needed to face the next hurdle. Life, with all its ups and downs, demands that we stay resilient and trusting in the journey. It's like training for a marathon. Each day builds upon the last, strengthening you in ways you might not immediately see. That's what this prayer is asking for: the courage to meet each new challenge with unwavering faith. The angels, ever watchful, are there to remind you that no matter how steep the hill, you have the power to climb it. Faith isn't always about knowing the outcome, it's about trusting that everything will unfold in its own time. When you pray for strength, you're aligning yourself with the wisdom of God, asking Him to guide you through life's unpredictable path. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the unknown, but this prayer asks you to trust, even when you can't see what's ahead. With every prayer, you're affirming that you believe, even in the midst of uncertainty, that God's plan for you is one of hope and restoration. Now, as the day comes to a close, you ask for peace, a restful night that will restore your body, mind, and spirit. it's important to acknowledge that rest isn't just physical, it's emotional and spiritual too. How many times have you tossed and turned, your mind racing with thoughts of the day's worries? This prayer invites you to let go of those thoughts, handing them over to God and the angels. As you lay your head down, you're making a conscious choice to surrender your fears, knowing that tomorrow is a new day, full of fresh opportunities. Think of it this way: when you ask for strength and faith, it's like giving your heart a permission slip to rest. By asking for peace in the night, you're giving yourself permission to step away from the stress and let your mind and body recover. It's like hitting a reset button, trusting that God will take care of what you cannot. Angels, ever present, are there to watch over you, ensuring that you're not alone, even when the world seems quiet. As you pray for a peaceful night's rest, remember that it's more than just sleep. It's a gift. Every moment of rest is an opportunity to recharge, to reset your intentions, and to prepare for the challenges ahead. God created rest for a reason. It's not just for the body, but for the soul. So, don't feel guilty about resting. It's part of the process. When you ask for peace and strength, you're actively participating in a cycle of renewal, both physically and spiritually. As you drift off to sleep, let the prayer be your anchor. Allow it to guide your thoughts, reminding you that tomorrow is a fresh start, a new opportunity to face life's challenges. The angels are with you, watching over you as you rest, so you can wake up ready to face the new day with renewed strength and unshakable faith. But the journey of faith doesn't stop there. In the next step of your prayer, you'll acknowledge the Creator for His continued presence in your life. This recognition will solidify the peace you've asked for, making it even more tangible in your heart. At the heart of this prayer is a deep acknowledgement of God's role as the Creator, Sustainer, and Comforter. When life feels chaotic, it's easy to forget that there is a divine plan, a steady hand guiding us through the storm. This part of the prayer invites you to pause and recognize the incredible power and stability that comes from knowing God is in control. No matter what happens, He is the unshakable foundation upon which everything rests. And as you acknowledge His presence, you find comfort in the certainty that He is always there forever, faithful, ever present. Consider how often we try to control everything around us, thinking we must hold it all together. But the truth is, we're not meant to bear that burden alone. This prayer calls you to remember that God is the ultimate sustainer, providing the strength you need to endure and thrive. It's like a gardener tending to a fragile plant, watering, nurturing, and guiding it through each season. When you pray, you're leaning into that divine care, trusting that He will provide for you in every season of life. The stability that comes from recognizing God's presence is like the calm center of a storm. No matter how much the winds howl or the waves crash around you, there's a quiet peace at the core, grounded in the knowledge that God is unchanging. This acknowledgement isn't just about words, it's a profound shift in perspective. The more you embrace God's role as your constant source of support, the more you begin to experience the peace that comes from trusting in His stability. It's in moments of stillness, when everything else fades away, that we are reminded of God's presence. And in those quiet moments, when you choose to pause and praise Him, you invite His comfort into your life. Praise isn't about offering empty words, it's about expressing a heart full of gratitude for His ongoing involvement in your life. Just as the Bible teaches, God's love is steadfast and unconditional, no matter what we go through. Acknowledging this truth in your prayer is an act of faith and surrender, knowing that He has a purpose for everything. Think about the ways God has sustained you in the past. Perhaps it was a moment when you thought all hope was lost, but somehow things worked out. That's God's handiwork, providing for you in ways you might not always recognize. By praising Him, you're affirming that He is the source of your strength, the comfort you turn to when life feels overwhelming. His presence is not just a nice thought, it's a tangible reality that sustains you through each challenge. As you continue in this prayer, you'll start to notice a shift. Recognizing God's role in your life doesn't just bring comfort, it opens you to a deeper relationship with Him. By acknowledging Him as the Creator and Sustainer, you make space for His peace to dwell within you. And with this peace, you're ready to move forward into the next phase of your journey, where gratitude will lead you into the next chapter of your prayer. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to align your heart with God's plan. As you pray, it's important to take a moment to reflect on the many blessings you've received. It's easy to focus on what we don't have, but true peace comes when we stop and recognize the abundance already present in our lives. From the warmth of a roof over your head to the love and support of family, every blessing is a reminder of God's goodness. Health, food, shelter, these aren't just items on a checklist. They're divine gifts that sustain and nurture you each day. In moments of struggle, it's hard to see the good. But when you stop and express gratitude, you invite a shift in perspective. The Bible teaches that in everything, give thanks, because even in hardship, there are lessons to be learned. You might have faced challenges that seemed impossible at the time, but when you look back, you can see how those struggles shaped you, making you stronger and wiser. Gratitude isn't just about celebrating the easy times. It's about acknowledging how every moment, good or bad, has contributed to your growth. Let's take a step back and think about the simple things. The feeling of warmth when you sit down to a meal, the comfort of a familiar face, the joy of good health. These are all things that we often take for granted. This part of the prayer calls you to recognize that every small blessing is part of a bigger picture. When you thank God for these gifts, you're reinforcing your trust in His ability to provide for you, even in times of uncertainty. The angels, watching over you, carry those prayers of gratitude up to heaven, reinforcing your connection to the Creator. Family is another blessing that can sometimes go unnoticed until you face a tough season. Whether it's the support of parents, siblings, children, or friends, these relationships are priceless treasures. In this prayer, you take a moment to thank God for the people who walk beside you through life. The love of family offers not just comfort, but a source of strength that can see you through the hardest times. When you pray, you're not only asking for blessings, you're also giving thanks for the support and care that surround you every day. Think of a time when you were truly grateful for something small yet significant. Maybe it was a kind word from a friend or a small act of generosity. Those moments of grace are often where we find God's fingerprints in our lives. Gratitude turns the ordinary into the extraordinary, making us aware of God's ongoing provision. When you express thanks in your prayer, you're actively choosing to see the good, even when life struggles try to cloud your vision. It's a powerful shift that brings peace and contentment into your heart. And yet, even in moments of peace, we are reminded that struggles also bring blessings. Without the challenges, we might not appreciate the simple joys of life. This prayer is an invitation to express thanks, not only for the things that bring you joy, but also for the lessons learned from pain. With this gratitude, you're opening your heart to the next phase of your journey, one where forgiveness and healing will take center stage. There's something incredibly freeing about acknowledging our mistakes and asking for forgiveness. It's in this moment of prayer that the speaker humbly admits their shortcomings, opening their heart to the possibility of change. We all have moments where we fall short, where our actions or thoughts don't align with the values we strive to uphold. But this prayer is a reminder that we are not defined by our mistakes. In asking for forgiveness, we release the burden of guilt and invite God's purifying love to wash over us. The angels, always present, stand by to guide us through this cleansing process. In acknowledging our sins, we don't just ask for forgiveness, we ask for purification. This is about more than just absolving past wrongs. It's a request for renewal, a fresh start. Just as the Bible says, "Create in me a clean heart, O God." This prayer calls for a transformation of mind and spirit. It's about shedding old habits and thoughts that weigh you down, opening yourself up to a higher level of awareness. By embracing this renewal, you allow space for God's love to fill the gaps and transform you into the person you're meant to be. But forgiveness isn't always easy. It requires vulnerability, the courage to face our flaws, and the willingness to let go of shame. It's not about perfection, but about growth. When we ask God for purification, we're acknowledging that we are on a continuous journey of becoming. The prayer acknowledges this struggle and invites God to help us navigate it with grace. In these moments, the angels walk beside us, encouraging us to let go of the past and move forward with a spirit of hope and redemption. Forgiveness also means letting go of the things that have held us back. Think about the weight of resentment or anger. These emotions can cloud our judgment and prevent us from experiencing true peace. When we ask for forgiveness, we also ask for the strength to forgive ourselves and others. This part of the prayer is crucial for healing, because only when we release the grip of past hurts can we move into a place of true peace and freedom. The act of seeking forgiveness is one of the most liberating practices we can engage in. It's a powerful tool for emotional and spiritual healing. As you pray, remember that God's mercy is endless. There's no sin too great, no mistake too big for Him to forgive. As you seek purification, ask not just for the forgiveness of past wrongs, but for the strength to rise above them, to learn and grow. By doing so, you're aligning yourself with the divine purpose that God has set for your life, one that is free from the chains of guilt and shame. Once you've asked for forgiveness and embraced purification, you are then ready to embrace the next step in your prayer, the request for healing. It's a natural progression. Once we're cleansed, we open ourselves up to the healing that follows. But healing doesn't just cover physical wounds. It's about emotional and spiritual restoration too. The next part of your prayer will ask for just that, healing from the inside out. In this part of the prayer, the speaker humbly emphasizes God's mercy, recognizing that His love and forgiveness are boundless. We are all flawed, and in moments of regret, it's easy to get caught in the weight of our past mistakes. But this prayer calls us to remember that God's mercy is always available, ready to heal our brokenness and restore us. It's a reminder that we don't need to carry the burden of guilt alone. As the Bible teaches, God's mercy is new every morning. This means that no matter how far we've strayed, His forgiveness is always within reach, waiting for us to return. Healing from past mistakes doesn't just mean asking for forgiveness. It also means healing the emotional and spiritual wounds that those mistakes may have caused. When we acknowledge our faults, we open ourselves to God's healing touch. But this healing isn't just about being absolved, it's about being made whole. Whether it's regret over a past decision, a hurtful word spoken in anger, or a relationship that was damaged, God offers a way to mend what's been broken. The angels are there to carry our prayers to God, helping to bring about the restoration of our hearts and minds. One of the most powerful aspects of this prayer is the request for strength to forgive others. We all have people in our lives who have hurt us, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Holding on to anger or resentment only keeps us chained to the past, preventing us from moving forward in peace. Asking for the strength to forgive is a profound request, one that aligns us with God's ultimate forgiveness for us. It's not always easy to forgive, but it's necessary for our emotional and spiritual well-being. By praying for this strength, we make the conscious choice to release the pain and find freedom in forgiveness. The act of forgiveness is one of the most freeing gifts you can give yourself. It's not about condoning the actions of others, but about freeing yourself from the grip of negative emotions. Think about the weight of carrying a grudge. It's exhausting. But when you forgive, you release that burden, making space for peace to fill your heart. And just as you seek God's mercy for your own past mistakes, you are called to extend that same mercy to others. The more you forgive, the more you align yourself with God's divine nature, reflecting His love and grace in your life. In asking for healing from past mistakes, you also ask for the wisdom to learn from them. God doesn't just forgive us, He helps us grow, transforming our experiences into lessons that shape our future. This prayer is not just about healing from the past, it's about being empowered to move forward with a renewed spirit. And once you've experienced this healing, you're ready to ask for divine protection and guidance. The next phase of your prayer will focus on seeking refuge in God's promises of protection. As you pray, it's essential to seek God's protection and guidance. Life is unpredictable, and each day brings its own challenges. But in this prayer, you are inviting God to be your refuge, your shield. The Psalms are filled with beautiful words of assurance, reminding us that God is our protector. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23:1. These words are not just poetic, they're a declaration of trust in God's ability to guide us and keep us safe. By quoting the Psalms in your prayer, you are reaffirming that God is your protector, always watching over you, even when you cannot see the dangers ahead. God's protection goes beyond physical safety. It extends to emotional and spiritual well-being as well. Life can be filled with hardships, and there are times when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But this prayer serves as a reminder that no matter what, God is with you, offering guidance, comfort, and protection. Just as a child runs to their parent for reassurance in times of fear, so too can you turn to God in your moments of uncertainty. Trusting in His presence is one of the most powerful ways to find peace amidst the chaos. As you ask for guidance, you're not just asking for direction in a specific situation. You're asking for a deeper connection with God so that you can follow His lead in all things. The angels are always present, offering guidance, but it's through prayer and connection with God that we are able to hear their whispers and discern the path we should take. This prayer asks not only for protection, but for wisdom, the ability to make choices that align with God's will for your life. And with this wisdom comes the assurance that you are walking in divine alignment, which brings peace and confidence. Think about times in your life when you felt lost or uncertain. In those moments, have you turned to God for guidance? Often, the answers don't come immediately, but with patience and trust, you begin to see the path unfold. Psalm 91, which speaks of God's protection from harm, is a powerful reminder that no evil will overtake you, for He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91, 111. This is a promise you can hold on to as you move through life's challenges, knowing that God's angels are protecting you every step of the way. In quoting Psalms and asking for divine protection, you're acknowledging the importance of God's constant presence in your life. Protection is not just about avoiding harm, it's about ensuring that your heart remains strong, your mind remains clear, and your spirit remains unshaken. No matter what the world throws your way, God's guidance and protection are always available, even in the toughest of times. And as you continue praying, you're strengthening your connection to His divine plan for your life. The assurance you feel now will carry you forward into the next chapter of your prayer, where confidence in God's love will lead you toward healing and peace. As the prayer continues, there's a profound expression of confidence in God's unwavering love and faithfulness. This is the heart of the prayer, through recognition that no matter what happens in life, God's love is a constant, unshakable force. In moments of uncertainty, we may not always know what the future holds, but we can trust that God will guide us through every challenge. His faithfulness is not dependent on our circumstances, but is a promise that stands firm, like an anchor in a storm. When you express this confidence, you are affirming your trust in God's divine plan for your life, no matter how unclear or difficult the path may seem. In times of hardship, it can be easy to lose sight of this truth, but it's during those times when the darkness feels overwhelming that God's love shines the brightest. When you pray, you are not only asking for strength to endure, but also for a deeper understanding of God's faithful presence in your life. It's a declaration that, even when you can't see a way forward, you know God is already at work behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail for your good. This confidence transforms fear into peace, doubt into faith, and uncertainty into hope. Think about a time when you faced a challenge and felt lost or alone. Maybe it was a personal struggle, a family crisis, or even a loss that seemed insurmountable. Yet, looking back, you can see how God's love guided you through those dark moments, offering comfort, wisdom, and the strength to keep going. This prayer invites you to reflect on those times and remember that God was with you every step of the way, even when you didn't realize it. The more you trust in His faithfulness, the more you begin to see His guiding hand in every aspect of your life. God's love is not just a feeling, it's a powerful force that has the ability to change everything. It's the love that surrounds you in your darkest hour, the love that comforts you when you're grieving, and the love that strengthens you when you feel weak. By praying with confidence in God's faithfulness, you are inviting that love to flood your heart, transforming your perspective, and empowering you to face whatever challenges lie ahead. This prayer helps you internalize the truth that, even in the most difficult seasons, God is present, working on your behalf. As you conclude this part of the prayer, you are filled with a sense of assurance that God's love and faithfulness will guide you. It's a deep inner knowing that no matter what hardships you encounter, you are never alone. God's protection, His strength, and His guidance are always available to you. And with that confidence, you can face the future with courage and peace. As you step forward into the next phase of your journey, remember that you are held in His loving arms, always. As you embark on the journey of praying this powerful night prayer, remember that every word you speak is an invitation for God's peace, love, and strength to fill your life. Imagine waking up each day with a heart full of gratitude, a spirit unshaken by the storms of life, and the confidence that God's angels are walking with you every step of the way. Will you take the first step toward embracing this peace tonight? Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I truly trusted in God's protection and guidance every day? As you continue to pray, make it a daily practice and watch how your heart and mind transform. If you want to learn more about living in alignment with God's will, subscribe to our channel and activate notifications so you can continue on this incredible journey of spiritual growth. Your peace and healing are waiting.